Good evening, everybody watching at home. It's Wednesday night. It's been a long time. I do apologise through holidays and health reasons I've been away, but it is your boy SuperSquid back at it again for 2023, here with your favourite racing community, the Amigos racing team, and we're back with the TCR2 series. Join me once again in the commentary booth, at least to start us off, is our host with the most, Chris R390. Good evening, Chris, and Happy New Year.
Good evening to you. Happy New Year. How have you been over Christmas?
I've been alright, thank you. So adjust your volume there. I've been good. Just eating, sleeping, gaming, spending time with the family. How about yourself?
Yeah, the same, mate. The same. Good to know you've had a good one.
Yeah, it's been alright. It's been alright. So, what are we expecting tonight then, sir?
So, first of all, we need to sort of mention that death of Ken Block, I think, really. We need to pay our respects to the guy. I think he was an inspiration for a lot of the guys in the grid and a lot of the guys in the community, and certainly worldwide. He's put out some incredible videos, and I think he's gone far too young. And but at least he essentially died enjoying himself. You know, that you can't think of any better way to go, really, if you can sort of get into too many details. So obviously with Amigos and with ourselves, we'd like to send the family our condolences and let them know how we're thinking of them.
Of course, I completely agree, 150%. Ken Block was as a pioneer of Gymkhana, a rally icon, a fantastic YouTube personality, and some of the things that he's done in a car, you know, you would have dreamt of doing, you know, a decade or so ago. So, as you say,
now, let alone a decade ago.
Oh, I totally agree. So, I think, as you say, echoing your thoughts there, my thoughts and prayers with the Block family and the community. It's been, you know, devastated by his loss, and of course, we hope that the family can move on in due course. Speaking of moving on in due course, then I think Hockers wants to get underway with the Tier 1 race. So, we're at Lago Maggiore West, as we can see here. And can you give us a brief rundown of the format one more time?
Yeah, it's just 3 20-minute races, really. The tyres are set to ×3, the fuel set to ×4. We're going to do a one lap qualifying, and race 2 is going to be the reverse of the race 1 results, and then race 3 again is the reverse of the race 2 results. So it's kind of promoting closer racing, I suppose, and it gives obviously the faster guys something more to fight for. If they want, it's easy for the fast guys to be at the front and run away with it. If they've got to go from the back, there's more of a fight and more of a task at hand. So that's why we decided to reverse the grid.
Excellent. Well, I can see some clouds forming on the horizon there. Hopefully there's no rain in sight, but we'll see how we all get on. Best of luck in Tier 2 then, Chris. Thanks, buddy. I think the JRM there in the comments, howdy from some dodgy truck stop. Well, hopefully you've got enough signal to join us tonight. It's always good to see you in the chat there, JRM. Wish you were on track. But maybe a bit of a break in the day for yourself. So, as we heard there from Chris, it's going to be a one-lap qualifier. We're running aboard here with Gina Quinney, as you can see, I think rocking his own tribute to Ken Block in this wonderful Genesis here, inspired by various movies he's supported over the years. An excellent tribute to Mr. Gymkhana himself, I feel. So, let's turn the volume a bit towards the racing. Let's try that. Let's go back a little bit there. So, we can see here, once again, we've got Uncle Darren in the Audi TT. We've got Hockers in the Toyota 86. Gina Quinney in the Genesis G70. Matt in the BMW M4. Lango also in the Toyota 86. Speed Hunter in another M4, another 860 with Bearding Beard. We've got Chris Boo in the Nissan Silvia, Langston in the Hyundai Genesis, Airbag in another M4, and Dutchy in our only Lexus RCF. So let's see how we get on today. Now, interesting to note, using the layout here at Maggiore West, we haven't got particularly long straightaways. It's mainly just this section here. We're expecting the cars to top out at about maybe 150. If they're on the faster end, maybe about, as you say, 150, might get to 150 now. We've got Hockers in the Toyota, it's probably about 145 hits the brakes. Just touching 150, so maybe the Lexus, the BMW, you're looking at maybe 55, 60 as they head into the big banky boy. But mainly looks like we've got a handling event on offer tonight. As Chris mentioned, all the cars on racing medium tyres, so you might see some get slightly slidey. They can put the power down a bit too harsh, but we shouldn't be seeing too much sideways action this evening. Now, the ones to watch, I think, will be Quinny in the Genesis. If I remember rightly, it's been about 3 weeks. But I do remember the Genesis G70 being an absolute rocket pretty much anywhere it chooses to be. I think Speed Hunter and Dutchy will be our standout drivers, Lancaster as well. So let's see how they get on. So Hockers is going to be setting the benchmark time. He crossed the line for maybe a 1:28 on the nose, I'd say. A 1:28.4. Let's see, Quinny doesn't quite beat that one, neither does Matt or Lango, so Speed Hunter is going to be one to watch. Even he is a bit slow there, with a 9 tenths down the lead. It's very much unlike Speed Hunter. Langster's got all out of shape, it seems, on the finish line, maybe a bit of a come together with Beardy. So still, Hockers is the man to beat here. Dutchy about to cross the line himself. Still not good enough to beat ART Hockers. Gerald wants me to turn down the background music. I'll see if I can. Give me 1 second. I thought I'd done that before. I guess not. Race BGM, menu BGM. I'll just turn that all down. That should be alright there. There we go. We'll turn everything down there. Music replay, that will do. Turn that down as well. Other BGM. All on 4. Hopefully that should be better. Thanks, Jerome. Sophie in the chat was saying good about Matthew Francis. Unfortunately, I don't think Matthew is in this race. I think he's probably in the other lobby, so the chair isn't being streamed, I'm afraid. But of course, I'm sure he knows that you're always watching and willing him on. So Matthew, if you got this one streamed down by side as well, Sophie's rooting for you. It looks like for the time being there, Hockers has taken pole. A very surprising pole, I must say. And it looks like Dutchy will be sat behind him there in P2. Gina Quinny in 3rd, Chris in 4th. That's only about a hundredth separating those two there, 3rd and 4th. Lango in P5. Speed Hunter in 6th. Again, very unlike Speed Hunter to be sat in mid of the pack. So he has to get a move on, definitely. Matt and Uncle Darren on the 4th row with the grid there. Airbag and Lancaster. I was also surprised Lancaster at the back, but maybe that instant weed Beardy there. It's going to be explained a little bit later. For the time being, we're about to get underway here at Lago Maggiore West. Obviously, got 1 like on the video and 7 people watching. Thank you so much for your support. Let's get the numbers up to at least 10 would be fantastic. So, here come our 5 red lights. Keeping our foot on the handbrake, I hope, for Hockers. And he's away. It'll always be a good start from the Toyota, and naturally aspirated, but it looks like at Quinny in the Genesis has had an even better start. He's gone past Dutchy and Hockers to get away. For some reason I can't get the fancy spectate camera. There we go. Dutchy's got the inside line there, heading around the outside of the first corner, and that puts him up into P1 as they head back onto the main straightaway. And it seems Hockers has gone all the way down the pack into 4th place, so not the best start, despite having a decent getaway. Dutchy will lead them onto the back straight. Quinny 2nd, Chris Boo in 3rd, Hockers 4th. Speed Hunter has made a place or two up into 5th place, as has Lancaster finds himself in 6th, right behind, I think he's probably one of his nemesis at ART here. They're going to be side by side, as are Matt and Lango heading into Banky Boy. Lango's going to go up the inside of Matt there, almost underneath Speed Hunter as well, but to no avail. Speed Hunter with a good run though. I think he's side by side with Lancaster. He is indeed, if I can just flick the camera around there. But it's not going to be a move for the time being. If we jump back out one more time, we get a view from Lancaster's viewpoint as Chris Bree going very wide there, but up into P2 around Quinny. Excellent start there from Chris. We know that Sylvia can put his foot as well when it wants to. Hoggins on the inside of Quinny. Is Lancaster going to make a move there as well? Not quite. Maybe on the leg on the inside. There is some contact, some door banging. He's just about going to leave him the space. And Speed Hunter now with a chance to go up the inside of the pair of them. This could get very messy. Lancaster kicking up the dust there. Speed Hunter on the inside. A double overtake for Speed Hunter. Lancaster's been hung out to dry there, and he's on sideways over the sausage curve, but holds it in one piece. Goodness me. That's going to put him down into P8 though. See Dutchy moving across straight there, trying to break the split string. It's 3 wide, heading into the first corner. Quee's gone very deep, but around the outside of Lango. Goodness me, I can't even keep track of who's overtaking who. An incredible start here. I'm going to jump back to the front of the pack and see what things are like from behind this man here, playing Dutchy. He's got a lead now of almost a second there, getting away from all the fighting. Chris Boo's trying to pull away from Hockers. That Toyota 86 is a little underpowered compared to its peers, but it is starting to reel in that Sylvia. Question is, can it keep doing so out the slipstream? Just about. Who's got the biggest cojones into the banky boy? It's going to be Hockers. Chris Boo looking for a late cut back there, but Hockers has managed to make that one stick into P3. We've then got Speed Hunter in P4, 25, Lango 6, Matt's Langster 7th, Matt is 8th. Big Beard is just gone around the outside of Uncle Down there for P9. Uncle Down didn't notice before. Oh, in the Audi TT. And an airbag, unfortunately, at the back of the pack. Not the best start for him. I think he was mid-pack when Quali had come through there, but not so much like there. North for Big McBeard, drifting wide at one of the ultimate corners there, letting Uncle Down up into P9. So it really swings and roundabouts here. Dutchy opens up his lead to Hockers by a second there. Of course, fighting their way through Big Banky Boy has given Dutchy a bit more breathing space, but you can see this pack is still quite congested as they head round onto lap 3. Hockers setting the fastest lap there, 1:29.2. So perhaps he has got the pace, provided he can find the clear air to do it, but Dutchy is just inking away there. Yeah, it looks like Queen's going for a sneaky up the inside of Speed Hunter, being nudged onto the grass, but he keeps it in a straight line, and he'll be looking to get back on the tail of Gina Quinn. You can see the Speed Hunter is short shifting, thing that works slightly better for the BMW, keeps it in the power bands, got a very flat torque, I say curve, but it's a flat line I think, so it likes being short shifted. But I think Langer's about to give him some short shrift there as he heads up into P5. Langster looking for a double pass. This could go any which way. Langs up the inside of the pair of them and swings it out nice and wide to keep Langer out the slipstream on the corner exit. He takes 2 places. Speed Hunter down to P7s. Not going very well for the Mauritian driver there. Also racing under the French flags. I don't think Mauritius is recognised by GT Grand Turismo for the time being. Langston for a late move on the inside of Quinny. He does go for it. Quinny though going for the old switcheroo, as David Croft might say. Takes back P4, and that's given Lango a chance to get under the rear bumper of Langster. They are now almost 4 drivers there head to toe, make that 2 wide as Langster goes back up the inside of Quinny. Quinny leaving the space on the apex, quite tentative there, trying to accelerate away now from Langster and give Langer the slipstream to get past him. He has done so. The rider on the rear view here, Langer has definitely made that move on Langster. Is there going to be a late lunge on the brakes? There is going to be a late lunge on the brakes. Langer gives him space, but Langster's not going to make that one stick. And in fact, that's going to compromise his run into turn 2. Speed Hunter takes P6 away from Langster. You see them just nudging the grass there. Look how close Speed Hunter is there to the rear of Lango's car. Goodness me, oh, so close. This is what we love to see here at Amigos Racing Team, some tight, close, fair racing. If you want to get involved, please hit the link in the description for our Discord. There'll be many more leagues just like this one for you to join, no matter of your age, ability, location in the world, favourite preference of cars. There's something for everyone and anyone. But it really starts to hot up now as we head through towards the end of lap 4. Dutchy is now losing time to Hockers, so Hockers is making inroads. It seems that light 86 is starting to show its worth at a track that more suits its nature. Dutchy is not someone we normally see losing time to drivers anywhere in the pack, let alone P2. So he's really going to have to put his foot down here. So Dutchy will lead around the final turn there. Hockers come around in P2. Chris Boo's got Gina Quinny hot on his heels. Lango is in P5. Speed going a little wide there. Langster can be up underneath him in the slipstream. Is right on board down with Langster. Speed has space to the right. Langster moves up to the left hand side. Then neck and neck over the line, but Langster should have this one by the time they get to the braking zone. Have a look. We can't quite see him in the mirror. He's now behind, which is reassuring for Langster. He might go for a cheeky cutback though. And there's going to be nothing of the sort, it seems there. He's just getting a little bit touchy on the grass there, as has Langster, I think, following in the footsteps of Quinny, and the Korean sister car just up ahead. The work costing time down the straight. Speed Hunter is once again in the slipstream. These two are having a real ding-dong battle. In fact, if I just jump outside, we can see Quinny and I think that is Lango then side by side again into Banky Boy. So Speed's gone very late on the brake. They try going for a momentum on the exit. It has given him a better exit, but Langster is parking it right on the racing line. There's no room to move there. He shuffle up the pack though, we can see Chris Boo is starting to benefit from their fighting, and Hockers has taken almost half a second there out of Dutchy. In fact, on this previous lap alone, so I think we're going to run on board with Hockers. It seems Toyota really is starting to show signs of life in this series. It's not really done so well on the power-oriented tracks, but ones like this where you can just throw it in and then whack the power down on the way out. It's Dutchy, and it's a little bit wide in that big hefty Lexus. It is starting to really come back to Hockers now. 128.3, so already clips his previous best there by a tenth and a bit. Throws it over the rumble strip there, down into first gear to get the rotation, back up into second to get the power down. It does seem to struggle in the lower revs, this Toyota, but once you get it into that upper 6,000, 7,000, it really starts to come alive. Dutchy though, in that huge Lexus V8 there, starting to pull away just a little bit. Of course, it's in the twisties where the Toyota makes its gains. So about 3/4 of a second there between our leading pair. 4 seconds back there to Chris Boo, who's still fending off the Toyota with a mosquito in its rear view mirror there. He's going for a little up and under, I think. No, he's going to bump Chris Boo out of the corner instead. Quinny, Langston, Speed Hunter still almost an inseparable trio as well, from 5th down to 7th. So it's a fantastic battling we're seeing almost every segment of the track there. We shuffle back a bit further. Matt is just about getting away from Uncle Darren, but he's still got the slipstream crucially within that 1 second boundary. Darren's going to need that in the front wheel drive Audi. It's not been the best car for time, where of course sending all power and steering through the front wheels. But when it makes up for, or when it loses, I should say, in traction, it does make up for in power and weight advantage. So hopefully the Audi will find some advantages here at Lago Maggiore West. Airbag unfortunately not finding any advantages in his BMW. A couple of seconds off the pace there, and Beardy McBeard seems to have an absolute nightmare in his Toyota. Almost 20 seconds off the back of his nearest rival, so not having a good time it seems. Dutchy though, just about pulling away from the Hockers. You can see he's taking that fastest lap back there, 128.317. I think just in those power zones coming out of the corners is where the Lexus seems to hold its own. You see it's just about inching away then. Crucially, he's broken that 1 second slipstream boundary back to Hockers, and this is where he's going to start making more time up. He's another 200ths of a second up on his own purple time there. So Dutchy needs to get the hammer down here, make sure he can pull away from Hockers. You see they're about even on fuel, crucially. So unless the Toyota can dance his way through his corners a little bit faster, I think it might well be a good day for the Lexus. Not a good day for Speed Hunter, dipping his toes in the gravel there, but just about keeping it in one piece. We run more with Lango here, trying to catch up to Chris Boo and Nissan Silvia. Again, it seems to be much a battle of power versus weight, as the Silvia will be a slingshot in a straight line, but the Toyota is going to scramble back up on the back of it through the corners. You can see Chris running a little bit wide here, not quite making his second apex. Lago nailing it perfectly there and having to find a room around Chris Boo. Chris parks it on the racing line, but Lago is up on the inside. They're neck and neck into the last corner. Who's the last late breakers here? I think it might well be Lango as he ushers Chris Boo to the outside, and that's allowing Speed Hunter into the fight as well. And he goes around the outside, clean as you like, and that puts him up into P4. Is there P3 to take as well for BMW? Let's have a look. He's going for a late move indeed. A little bit sliding there, but crucially keeps the outside line, making it the inside for the hairpin. Chris Bruce going to follow through, Langston going to follow through as well. They're 3 wide, heading onto the back straight. That is a very dangerous game there, my friends. So Speed Hunter back making it work. Lango is in the dirt, trying to keep it too wide with Chris Boo, and I think they're still too wide. No, he's just about conceded there. It should be, no, Speed Hunter will have lost a lot of time there to the battle for the lead there with Hockers and Dutchy. Before you just about seeing them go around the big banky boy there out of the edge of our shop. To the 9 of you that are watching now, we are halfway around lap 8 of 14 and race 1 of 3 here at Lago Maggiore West. Play Dutchy leads Hockers by just about a second. It's been a very tight battle between these two. Neither one's really managed to pull away from the other. There's Hockers there hunting down Flying Dutchman there in P2. 6 seconds down the road there is Speed Hunter, and he's got a little gaggle behind him of Lango, Langster and Chris Boo. Gina Quinney starting to fall off the back of this battling quartet here. Langster dipping his toes off the track and possibly incurring a 1.5-second penalty for track limits, which he does indeed. It's an unfortunate penalty there for the Hyundai driver. He'll be slower than that once he gets back onto the back straight, which is crucial. We can see there Chris Booth just looking behind him in P6, Quinny on the back of this battle in P7. He may well take a position off Langston once that penalty served. Matt's in P8 there, slamming on the brakes for turn 1. Uncle Darren just behind, keeping in the slipstream there, crucially for him in P9. Airbag is in P10 there in the BMW, not having a great race. Unfortunately, neither is Beardy McBeard in 11th and last place there, 21 seconds down on P10. Dutch has eked out his gap on the lead there to 1.5 seconds, so perhaps a mistake there from Hockers as Dutchy gets very sideways, just about catches it. And unfortunately, I think all that lead he's taken away is about to be given back to Hockers as he gets back up within that 1 second boundary, so we'll have just the dregs of the slipstream as he heads through the final sector of the circuit. This has really cost Dutchy there. He's 7/10 down on his previous best, which he almost equalled on that last lap, so this will be a good time for Hockers to try and make some inroads on Dutchy, but I think he's gone a little bit sideways there. Heard the tyre squealing through those penultimate few corners. But we've seen stranger things happen here at Amigos Racing Team. They've got 5 laps to go, so it is still anyone's guess as to who can come out on top tonight. Speed Hunter leads from Lango here in P3. There's quite a gap back there. Langston and Chris Booth, maybe those are coming together that I've missed off screen, but they've taken 2 seconds out of that trio there. And Quinny's still on the hunt to try and get back into the top 5 after a crazy start there from the recently promoted Julian Quinny. It's not quite gone his way in this first race. Perhaps race 2 will serve him better. We can see though, I think the Toyota is now starting to make a couple of losses here to the Lexus on the straightaways. Hockers is still improving. He's about 100th up on his previous best, which isn't far off the race fastest. So he's still trying to put in essentially qualifying pace laps. But I think the Lexus just about has just about got the upper hand on the Toyota, especially in these traction zones out of the corners. And the Hockers just isn't quite making the same gains there as he heads into the final sector. Lango and Speed Hunter are still going at it for the final spot on the podium. We jump on board then with Lango and see where he can catch this BMW. Using all of the inside curve there, taking his first of the 2 right-handers. Even more curve there on the right-hander. Get the throttle down nice and early, try and get the power down. Again, White's Toyota may be very good through the corners, it is quite underpowered, so you really got to be at throttle as much as you can, using all of that inside curve. Maybe you could use a little bit more, maybe be on the power a little bit earlier. You can see Speed Hunter maximising the corner and just making a tiny few gains there on the exit of the final turn. Langston though is about 2 seconds off of Lango and about 3 seconds away from Quinny, so he's probably got P5 in the bag unless something goes catastrophically wrong. Quinny there in P6, so I think we'll have to be pretty much content with what he's got there. Chris Booth, after had a really great start to the race there, has done really well to fend off some of those trickier drivers, and Langston and Speed Hunter has dropped down the pack gradually. He's now in P7. Uncle Darren isn't quite catching up though. You see the front tyres of that Audi really are looking quite bad. They're over halfway worn. Fortunately for him, he's only got another 3.5 laps to do, so he'll be grateful when that time comes, I'm sure. Airbag in P9, hasn't been able to quite catch up to the back of Uncle Darren. Matt must have had a bit of an off at some point. He was up, I think, just above Uncle Darren. He's lost 3 places here, it seems. Beardy has made some inroads on the guys at the back. I think, yes, Matt must have had a huge off, it seems. But he's still not quite on the pace of those around him, unfortunately. So Hockers there trying to catch up with Dutchy. He's lost another 5/10 though on this lap, it seems. So maybe the tyre wear starting to kick in here. Maybe just a bit of a lapse in concentration. A 1:28.9. That is well off of his pace, it seems, by a good half a second. So I'm sure it's probably this lap alone where he's made that deficit there to Dutchy. Lango's still trying to fend off Speed Hunter. In fact, he's just about gotten past him, it seems. So perhaps a late lunge in the middle sector that I may have missed, but Speed Hunter is not going to let that go without a fight. You can see he's still in the slipstream of Lango. Lango getting very slightly sideways, coming off of the grass there down onto the main straight. An early upshift there from the Speed Hunter, using the slipstream to get back into the power band, and another one into 7th in top gear. To move to the inside of Lango, you can spin the car around just a little bit. They're not quite level, but he has got a wheel to the side. Maybe some contact there, I think. Maybe also net code issues, couldn't quite see there, but it looks like Speed Hunter has made that move on Lango up into P4, and Lankster is just lurking behind there in P5. You can see any more fighting will bring him into the fray for a 3-way fight for the final podium place. Lango's up the inside of Speed Hunter again there, side by side into the 3rd last corner, but they can't quite make that one stick. They're still almost bumper to bumper. Speed Hunter kicking up some dirt there on the exit of the turn. Lango staying right under that rear diffuser of the M4, making sure you can have a good run out of the final turn. You see banging the rev limiter there as hard as he can and staying in the slipstream. I'm not too sure this is a good run out the exit though for Lango. He's got to make a big dive if he wants this place. Let's have a look into turn 1. No, he's going to hold back, I think, instead. Maybe try and wait for Speed Hunter to make a mistake, or sacrifice the first turn for the second. He's had a good run out there, but Speed Hunter has to. Just about keeping it on the black stuff. Lango using a nice amount of apex curve there as he heads down the hill and back up onto the back straight. Speed Hunter with a very good exit has taken another couple of tenths out of Lango there. Lankster crucially is now in the slipstream, as we see the rear 2 drivers there following Speed Hunter to try and keep within that 1 second and try and make some more inroads on the podium places. Lango there using the great momentum carry throughout by that Toyota, takes some more time out of Speed Hunter. Lankster trying to do the same. It seems that Speed Hunter is struggling a little bit there in the banked corner at the end of the back straight, and Lango's using that to his advantage. He's now within 2 tenths. Is there another lunge to go here? He's looking, just trying to get in the mirrors there, but it's not quite happening. Let's ride on board with him one more time. Let's see, Wade can make up a couple more tenths or hundredths of a second. Definitely doing it through these last 2 corners, using a lot more of the inside curb. Maybe see if he can run nice and wide here. He's very late on the brakes as well. Back at full throttle, he's even hit the apex of the corner, running nice and wide, but I think the Speed Hunter just had a slightly better run of it. However, the slipstream is now going to come back into Lango's favour. Lankster's taken another tenth or so out of this duo here, but onto the final lap. Are there any late places to take and mistakes to make? We are about to find out. Dutchy's still leading Hockers by about 1.25 seconds, 1.5 seconds. So this is his race to lose. And I'm not too sure Hocker's going to have much more fight left in him as they head around the middle sector of the circuit. Lango is now leading Lankster. Speed Hunter must have gone off, I think. Having gone off at the hairpin, I've probably missed it just as we switched over to Dutchy and Hockers. Lango up at P3, but not for long. I think Lankster's going to be late on the brakes, sending it up the inside. Lango's going to go for a cheeky cutback. He's got the momentum, but I don't think he's got the power up the hill. In fact, maybe he has, and they're side by side, in fact. As I try and show you the view from the camera, I can quite do that right now. There you go, from the roof of Lango's car. He's going to try and capture the inside, defend that corner from Lankster, late on the brakes indeed. Lankster with a great run. Lango's going to try and force him to the outside of the corner. It's very tight, but it looks like this is going to be Lango. He's going to keep P3. We're going to quickly see Dutchy head over the line. It keeps P1 just about heading over the line in style. Hockers takes P2. Coming out the last corner, Lango will just about keep P3. Looks like Lankster had a great run at that last corner, but it's not going to be enough. By skin of his teeth, Lango takes the final spot on the podium from Lankster. Gina Quinney will take P5, so Speed has lost a lot of time on that back straight. Almost losing to Chris Boo there, but he'll take P6. Chris Boo in 7th. Uncle Darren, a fairly lonely P8, as his airbags P9. Matt 237 will come home in 10th spot there, and Bid McBeard will make up the final position there as he kicks up a little bit of dirt on the exit of the final bend. And there we have it for race 1 of 3 here at Lago Maggiore. Our race winner for the first round, Play Dutchy. So our first race winner there, Play Dutchy. Hockers, though, giving him a good fight to the line and throughout that race, actually. So big credit to Hockers. Definitely been putting in the practice time. And he takes P2. And if you're up for any more good news, I've just found out that Andrew Tate's bronze Bugatti has been seized in Romania. The same one that he's taunted a child over. So seems that there is some justice in the world, isn't there? If you are just joining us, you are just in time for round 2 of 3. Well, race 2 of 3, I should say, here at round 5 of the Amigos Racing Team Touring Car Championship. You find us at Lago Maggiore West. And I believe the previous race results are about to set the grid for race 2. If you're wondering what is an Amigos Racing Team, how do I become an Amigo? It is very simple. There's a link in the description to our Discord server. We've got all kinds of races going on. We've got a Mazda Touring Roadster Series. We've got a Red Bull Junior Series. We've got, of course, this our TCR Series. We've got a Monday Night Championship that is irregularly hosted. I believe we've got one on Saturdays restarting. Our Saturday Endurance. If you want to get involved in any of those, just hit the link in our Discord. Refer your friends if you're watching. The more, the merrier we are. I think over 600 strong. Let's keep it that way. Mr. Navoli saying, let's get into it in the chat there. Good to see you on board, Navoli. Hope you're doing okay. But we should be starting in just a moment, as I think Uncle Darren is leaving with neck pains. Which, it's unfortunate. I hope he feels better soon. Surprised that Play Dutchy doesn't have neck pains from all the looking back he must be doing at the rest of the drivers. Speaking of which, I think he's our final driver to ready up and get on track. Maybe he's gone for a quick refreshment break. I think we'll be starting with race 2 in just a moment. If you're still watching, you're in the comments, who do you think is going to take race 2? I think Hockers is still in with a great chance of winning race 2. Yes, if you're joining late, I've just said Hockers is in with a chance of winning race 2. He really pushed Dutchy to the end of that one. I think one mistake from our Dutchman could put this race in Hockers' favour. So let's see how he gets on. Looks like I think we got a reverse grid for this one, if the standings on the right are anything to be believed. I think the ones who are going to have a good start though will be the ones in the four-wheel drive. That'll be those in any kind of Genesis. So that will be Quinny, Lankster, and our NA cars as well will definitely be in for a good start. Oh my god, where are the buttons? I'm saying, I just say yes. Just say yes, that'd be fine. And yes, our NA cars as well, so our Toyotas and our Lexus should be good. Really think it's probably only the BMWs and the Silvia that might have an issue, being the rear-wheel drive turbo cars. But I've been wrong before. Let's see if they can keep Dutchy behind as they go through the pack. Well, that would be a dream, wouldn't it? See, I think what we'll do, we'll ride on board actually with this man Dutchy, because he's probably going to have the best view. I love this overhead camera of the grid as we have our 5 red lights. We're almost ready to go, and now we're away. So Dutchy on the track control for a launch there. He's already passed Hockers and Lango. He's left them for dead off the grid, and we'll jump back out so we can see exactly what is happening. Matt will lead around turn 1, round the outside of Beardy McBeard. Chris though with a great start actually in his Silvia gets up into P2, Beardy down to 3rd place. Airbag in 4th, there's a bit of contact in the back there. Quinny 5th, Dutchy's made up 3 places off the grid, another one in the corners, make that 2. He's ready P5, he's halfway up the grid and it's not even half a lap yet, so a fantastic start there from the Flying Dutchman. Matt though is trying to check out at the front of our screen there. Dutchy making his way past Gina Quinny already. Up into P4, is there a late lunge come from him? Maybe even from further back. Let's have a look. This is Speed Hunter making the inside move on Lankster. There's a huge amount of contact there. Anyone in the stand? No, not quite, but I think airbag was definitely worse off for that one. People wishing he had an airbag, I think, after all of that. Hockers, most unfortunately, still at the back of the pack, so hopefully it wasn't a one-race wonder from him, where he's put an esports racer in the seat for turn 1, he's had it back for turn 2. Not too sure. Although it seems that Langston didn't particularly benefit from any of these goings on. Still in P7 and sat behind one of his least favourite cars you like to see through that windscreen. That will be Speed Hunter just ahead in P6. Dutchy though is definitely being held up by Quiddy, just as JRM was hoping for. So perhaps there's something to be made of this race yet as he gets past Beardy McBeard up into second place. Dutchy though is up into P4. He's made a lot of gains on that first lap. He's going to have a look at the inside of Beardy, but Beardy slams that door in his face. Meanwhile though, must be given credit to Matt, who amidst all of these clashes is still in the lead. We love to see it. Matt in first, Quinny second, Beardy holding his own there in P3, but possibly not for long, as he's got Dutchy less than a tenth behind him in P4, and I'm sure we're going to see an overtake from him down this straight as he pulls up side by side. Nope, go for a little bit more slipstream, in fact, maybe even a cheeky bump draft. No, he's not even going to go for it. Very surprised. Maybe he's going to wait for a more opportune moment down the back straight there. Kerry Hold in the chat, they're saying good luck to Matthew Francis. Fortunately, he's not being shown on tonight's stream, but I'm sure he'll be listening out for the good vibes. Quinny has taken Matt there for the lead of the race. Beardy though still the meat in that sandwich between Dutchy and the front of the pack, so fair play to Beardy McBeard. Speed Hunter is still just ahead of Langston, only by about half a second. Hockers though has made his way off the back of the pack and up into P7, so it's good to see him finally putting some drivers behind him. He's really going to put his foot down though if he wants to be anywhere near where he was in the previous round, or previous race, sorry. Lango down in P8, Airbag in 9th, Chris in 10th. So the field is definitely a bit closer than it was in the previous race, and other drivers all found their bearings, but it's still not quite going to plan. Chris going for a big lunge at the inside of Airbag there, but Airbag is aware and keeps that one nice and wide, leaves him plenty of space. At the front of the pack, if you ride on board there with Gina Quinny, you can see he's just about breaking away there from Matt 237. Beardy McBeard, he's going to be clinging on to Matt for dear life, making sure he gets as much slipstream as possible there to keep away Play Dutchy. In fact, he's got a lot of slipstream here, maybe even an overtake on the cards. Let's have a look. He goes to the inside there, just about being left some space. Matt is going to hold it around the outside and he cannot go anywhere. Meanwhile, Speed Hunter has made the most of Dutchy being caught napping up the inside of him into P4. Or a bit of contact there for Speed Hunter, and indeed he's been put in the wall. That is very unfortunate indeed. And I'm not sure what's happening there with Speed Hunter. Really, he's going to have to face a penalty and at least give back the position to Beardy McBeard, as Hockers makes contact with Dutchy, reminding him he's still part of this race. But goodness me, that's very unfortunate for Beardy, who's having a great race there to start with. I think he's been at the back of the pack once again, and I know he will be fuming. If we look back there from Speed Hunter, we can see Dutchy going from him on the inside there, a bit of contact there, a bit of a bump draft. He's been bumped slightly wide, but Dutchy lets back. Let's go with the throttle there and make sure Speed Hunter keeps his momentum, keeps his distance. So Speed Hunter will keep Dutchy at bay for the time being in P3. Matt's not had the best run into turn 2 there, and Speed Hunter is right up behind him now as they head down onto the back straight. Dutchy is 4th, Langster is 5th. Hoppers is just about trying to keep in touch. He's still got some of the slipstream behind Dutchy there, or behind Langster, sorry, into P6. So this trainer car's from 3rd all the way, or I should say 2nd actually, all the way down to 6th there. It could be anyone's game. They're 3 wide actually as they head onto the back and run aboard here with Matt, as he's made a lot of losses there, unfortunately. Dutchy's got up inside Langster, as will Matt, it looks like, up the inside there, side by side. Langster cling onto the slipstream of the cars ahead. We'll make sure he keeps P4, but it really is getting quite dicey here. We'll jump aboard there with Hockers, he's going to have the best seat in the house. As Dutchy goes wide onto the grass, clipping the wall, Matt's going to have a look up the inside. Go on Matt, send it on the inside. No, he doesn't do it, he's gone wide of Apex instead. Hockers, now has the door open for him. There's a double right-hander though. Can Hockers keep it tight to the right? Not quite, and that's 3 rhymes in a row. Very impressed. Matt will keep P5 instead. Just ahead though, it's still going to be Langston on the inside of Speed Hunter. He's not quite made the apex and kept his speed. Dutchy has though. He's on the inside of Speed Hunter, who's now boxed in between Langster, Dutchy and the right hand side of the track. Speed Hunter, you have to probably bump drive Langster away to give himself some space to Dutchy. Dutchy very late on the brakes there. He can go around the inside of Speed Hunter. Can he keep to the inside? Yes, he can. Always a bit of contact there though. Dutchy's not going to like that. Speed has been bumped away by Matt as well. He's thrown his out into the ring. And I think now you can see where the touring car nature of its races come into play. All kinds of door banging and paint trading. Langster is the real beneficiary of this. He's eked out that 1 second gap to play Dutchy up ahead. Having something reeled back in by that big 5 litre V8 in the Lexus, but he'll be happy to have just a little bit of breathing space. Someone with plenty of breathing space though is this man up ahead, Gina Quinney, making his way out of Big Banky Boy. And in fact looks like he's about to lap Beardy McBeard, who's had a dismal evening of it so far, it must be said. But with a 2.25 second gap there back to Langster, he will be relishing all the fighting going on behind him. Absolutely. Langster's crucially broken away from Dutchy. That 1 second gap is gone. The slipstream is gone. Hockers, though, is still on the back of Play Dutchy. He must be sick of that bright yellow and blue Amigos livery Toyota having been his rear view for the past half hour or so. But there is no shaking it. Hockers has definitely been putting the time in. And the question is though, can he be showing Dutchy a bad time as they head through this last corner? It would be a time for the book to be a massive upset, but one thing we do love here at ART are the giant killings, the upsets of the decade. And this would be a great start to the new year for Hockers and his teammate in Tier 2 if they can get past Play Dutchy. For the time being, we said Gina Quinney leading from ART, Langster, Dutchy here in third, Hockers in fourth, Matt in P5. Lango's made his way up into P6 and a 5/10 penalty for Speed Hunter may well drop him back behind Airbag in P8. We're going to run a ball with him as he's got Chris Boo just behind him as well. Not quite in the slipstream, but as Speed Hunter says his penalty just here. We'll see if there's any chance for Airbag to make a move at the inside. He's definitely within the slipstream. Making it up the inside is Lango up the inside of Matt there. Airbag is just too far behind. Maybe Speed has been thrown off by his penalty. Not quite made the apex there. And Airbag is just about, I think, gaining on this BMW. This BMW up ahead though of Matt is trying to find a way past ART Lango. Not quite going to happen there. It looks like who is that in? Oh, it's Beard McBeard, I think, getting out of the way of the lapped traffic. So Matt normally getting inroads on Lango in this final sector, but Speed Hunter is making his way back up onto the back of Matt. So there may well be a change of position heading onto the first turn here. You see Lango getting up behind Beardy, pulling to the left to get out the way of the faster cars. Hockers is still in the slipstream and Play Dutchy. He's really trying to get past that Lexus, but he's making it as wide as he possibly can. So no luck here for Hockers as yet. He's less than half a second behind though. You can see all the time he gains on these tight twisting corners. But once Dutchy makes his way back onto the back straight and onto the straightaways, it really is a one-horse race. Hockers will be grasping onto every inch of that slipstream he can. Dutchy using Langster's slipstream as well to pull away from this pesky little Toyota. There seems there's a battle going on behind us there between Matt and Speed Hunter. Side by side, in fact, heading towards Big Banky Boy. Speed Hunter on the inside, Matt looking for a cheeky cutback possibly, but no, not quite cut it back far enough. Speed Hunter takes P6. Airbag is following this trio closely there. 3 BMWs, I think, all in a row, with Beardy McBeard in P10 at the head of this train, the lap traffic there. So I got just hear my right speaker there. Nissan Silvia is indeed Chris Boo at the inside there for P8. He's just about holding inside for this double right. Leave space on the left though, very sportsmanlike there. And Airbag will retain P8 for the time being. It's been very close into the last corner. Chris Boo's going to go right around the outside, a very bold move indeed, and he's just not quite made it stick, but he won the slipstream of the cars ahead, and he will keep that one. Speed Hunter, I think we saw, just went off into the grass there, and that's a very late break in there, and Beardy McBeard has put Speed Hunter into the wall, I think. not been very happy with that at all. I think either of them. Is that a revenge attack for earlier in the race? I can't tell you, but I can tell you that that's definitely ruined Speed Hunter's race there. Damage all around, engine damage to the boot as well, so he's going to be agonisingly slow in the back half of this lap. Beans McBeard driving away there. The Jarrow's put an oh my god emoji there for a squealing dude. I've never seen that one before. Lays in the chat there saying, well, Amigos, the one and only SuperSquid. Thank you for joining, Lays. It's always good to have you join us on the stream. Someone who's not going to be happy though with people joining him is Gina Quinney. He's lost that 1 second buffer he had to ART Lancaster, and you can see him there within 9/10 or so as they head through the final few corners. Play Dutchies also on the back of ART Lancaster, half second away, and he's still not managed to get rid of that pesky Toyota ART Hockers. You can see all of our front four cars within 2 seconds of each other. So all well within that slipstream time, I think. As Ginny Quinn, you see they're pulling harsh to the left to try and break away from his rivals. But with 6 laps to go here in race 2 of 3 tonight, it's still anyone's game to play for. We've seen collisions, we've seen crashes. Not seen the most sportsmanly conduct, I must say, which is unusual. Of course, at the 1 week I'm back streaming, we've seen some of the less considerate driving, I think we could say. But we have equally seen some really frenetic, fantastic fighting. And I'm sure there'll be plenty more to come in the next 6 minutes or so. It's like I see Dutchy's usual tactic of flashing the lights, trying to put off the guy in front of him. Lankster will be very aware of that in his rearview mirror, but will be paying it no heed, I'm sure. So Quinny is starting to fall off the pace a little bit there. Lankster is right behind him there, going for a bold look up the inside. There's no space there. You can't park there, mate. Lankster's going to go around the outside instead, it seems. Is there a claim to be made around the outside of these two? It's very dangerous, especially with Dutchy hot on his heels, but no move for the time being there. Lay saying Langston to get in there. All the time you have to leave the space though. Quinny not quite so hot on that final turn. Bit of a butt lift for Langston. Dutchy's had to lift off, I think, to leave some space to avoid putting one of them over the sausage curve. This could allow Hockers to have a chance to make an inroad on him. You see he's got front row seat to the Korean battle there. Quinn and Langston both very slow through that corner, put each other off. Dutchy's had a chance, but he's gone sideways through the left. He's trying to put his foot down and get some more rotation. But in fact, there's Hockers up the inside. They're going to be too wide heading down the hill. Hockers very gentlemanly leaving some space there for the Lexus. I think on another day, he might have gone for that one. I think Dalton offering his counterpoint to leave the space. If gap car, I think we all heard the phrase there, if it fits, I sits. And it looks like Langston's going to be sitting on the outside of that corner there. A bit of contact from Quinny, but he will make it stick around the outside there into P1. And we've got 4 cars now vying for space on track. Dalton, I think if gap car has never been more suitable. We're going to see it come into force now, I think. Langston still in the lead. Queen's going for a cutback on the inside. It really could go any way. Or perhaps he's trying to defend from Dutch. He's holding it around the outside. He has about got a wheel on the outside of Gina Quinney, who's kicking up some gravel there on the exit of that corner. Still fending off Dutchy. Our leading quartet now, all within 1 second of each other. And if there's anything, any more fighting to be involved here, we might well see Lango and Chris Boo join the fight there, or maybe just Lango. Chris Boo another 7 seconds down the road. Dalton says in before Punterino. Please no Punterino, Gino. Gina Quinney will not Punterino, but Dutchy's having a look at the inside there. Quinny's gone very wide. Dutchy up into P2, Quinny on the grass. Hockers will take P3 as well. A freebie, I think, as Erie might like to say. Possibly some more coming up there as Dutchy and Langston both taken to the grass. That's going to put some dirt on their tyres and might well affect their entry and exit of the big banky boy. Langston going very much to the right there to try and defend from Dutchy. Hockers, though, to try and make some more gains on these two as the sun starts to come out once more. Langston and Dutchy do make that turn very nicely, but not quite as nice, I think, as ART Hockers, who's going to take a little bit more time out of these two as they head up the hill. Quiddy's been left for dead 2 seconds back, and now he's got Lango to fend off in P5, it looks like. But I'm going to jump back to our leading trio here. Run and ball with Hockers a little bit longer as Langston defends again, very aggressively into that right-hander. Dutchy taking a little bit more leisurely, I think, trying to save his tyre life and be a little bit more smooth on the steering. Langston again takes the grass, and he did, I think, head off the track, so it might be dirty tyres, and Dutchy on the inside on a half-second penalty, which it is. Dutchy will head up the inside there, takes P1, Langston with his dirty tyres down to P2. And in fact, Hockers could just about have had P3 if it wasn't for the slipstream there. Langston will be very grateful, but it may not last long. Hockers turning up the inside. Langston have the inside for the right-hander. Hockers is going to try and go for a very late cutback. Langston sideways, and Hockers will take the inside line there into P2. But I think most disappointingly, that has just about impeded him there for Dutchy with a little bit of a outside tyre fire there. I was about to say it's going to cost him the slipstream, but actually Hockers think he's going to make very good advantage of that. Dutchy has been quite slow off the exit there. Perhaps small lag spikes I've not quite seen here, but Hockers almost putting the nitrous on, as it's still going to be a three-way fight for the lead. That penalty has not cost Langston too much in the long run, and provided he can keep in the slipstream of Hockers here, I think he's just about to lose it. But if he doesn't, we could still have three-way fight for the lead with 2 laps to spare. I do apologise not seeing much of the battles in the midfield if they've any been going on, but this has been too close to call all the way down to the line. Hockers going to keep Dutchy honest through this last sector, I'm sure. We'll jump back quickly and see what's going on here. Quinny's fending off Lango for P4 and 5 respectively. Chris Boozer, I think, aptly from Mauritius, he's on an island there in P6. Matt is as well, 5 seconds either side there. Speed Hunter has gotten back past Airbag for P8, but won't be much for him. Airbag in P9, and I think Beardy is retired from this one, maybe in the most acrimonious of circumstances. Dutchy though leading onto the penultimate lap here. Hockers is going for a look up the inside. Oh, that was a very late move. He's not gone for it, but I think some contact there as the Dutchy suddenly seemed to kick to the right hand side there, get a slide on. Hockers though I think quite duly leaving some space and trying to wait for Dutchy to possibly make another mistake, or stick with the slipstream there. Of course, any time you lose to Dutchy, he may well lose to Langston just behind him there. And Quinny is now on the back of this trio here with a chance of maybe snagging P3 for himself, as is Lango. So the leading 5 cars all within about a second and a half. As they're almost 3 wide into that corner. Hockers again made slight contact there with Dutchy. Dutchy being forced wide. Hockers is passed onto the grass. Contact there with Dutchy. And Dutchy goes from first to 5th in one corner. He will not be happy. Some damage there sustained as well, I think, with the contact with Quinny. And Lango with no damage at all should make, I'd assume, fairly light work there with Quinny. You won't make it easy for him. But meanwhile, Hockers was in the lead there, but I think Langston has just taken that one again. Dalton says there's the punt. I think it was only a matter of time. We've seen a bit more contact than we normally do in an Amigos League race. But Quinny's trying to keep Lango from getting that position, at least while his damage repairs. His damage has since repaired, but not the best run out the final turn. You see Lango jinking left and right as our Hankster there, Hankster and Lockers. Langston and Hockers still battling onto the last lap of the race. What an event it has been, and there's still some to go. Hockers trying to hold it around the outside, a very brave move there, but to no avail. However, he's going to cut back nicely underneath Langston there, and only 2 tenths separating these two as they head onto the back straight towards Big Banky Boy. Hockers trying to straight line the chicanes there as much as he can. I don't know if he's got enough left in the tank to get past Langston. He's need a really good drag down the hill there. Langston pulled to the inside, defending nice and early. Obviously, he's just later on the brakes there. He's having a nice cutback. He's early on the throttle, crucially, and a bit more momentum up the hill. He's going to make it very tight into the final sector here. Quinny is about a second away, so he should definitely be out of this battle. Hockers is going to go for the up and under again. A good run out of this S-bend, but Langston's going to cut him off one more time. Is there a late lunge? There is a late lunge from Hockers. He's going to send it up the inside. They are side by side into the penultimate right-hander. Langston's going to keep it around the outside. Hockers is hugging that inside line very tight indeed. He's technically in the lead, but Langston takes it back. This is going to be neck and neck into the final corner. I cannot believe what I'm seeing. Lancaster hugging the inside line as tight as he can. Hockers in trouble from the outside. We don't know who's going to be leading into the last corner. It is neck and neck. Hockers is gaining and gaining, but Lancaster will take it on the line. Lancaster, Hockers, and Quiddy just pips Lango, it seems, by the skin of his teeth. The top 5 cars within 1.2 seconds. What an incredible finish. Oh, the camera just made it even more nerve-wracking. Chris Boot in P6, Matt in 7th place there. And I think Speed Hunter and Airbag will be coming over the line any moment now. Speed Hunter with a half-second penalty, that'll be bumped up to a full second. So if Airbag gets a good enough run, he might just snatch P9. We're going to see now. No, he doesn't. I'm afraid Airbag is just behind. But look at that. A 10th back to Hockers. And less than half a tenth back from Quiddy to Lango. What an incredible race there. Lancaster snatching it right at the end. But again, my man Hockers, another P2. He'll still be happy with that, I'm sure. But what a race. Who knows what we got in store for round 3. I can't believe what I've seen tonight, guys. That's worth a like on the video on its own, surely. I better make sure I drop my like on the video as well while I'm here. But goodness me, what an incredible 2 races we've seen tonight, and there's still one left. Absolutely sensational racing we've seen so far. There's my like. We're currently on 6 likes. If we get 10 likes, that'd be fantastic. The 10 of you watching now, you've just missed an incredible race 2 of 3 here at Lago Maggiore. Lancaster from P7 on the grid, from a mid-table mediocrity, I believe they say, onto the top step of the podium, but Hockers did make him fight for it as well. And Dutchy, they're down in P5. Again, most unlike him, some contact, I think, midway through the race seemed to put paid to that one. But what a finish as well. I think some dicey racing there between Speed Hunter and Beard Mate will be investigated after tonight's proceedings, but we've got one more round to go. If you're still here in the comments, who do you think is going to take round 3 tonight at Lago Maggiore? I'm still putting my money on Hockers. He's had 2 P2 finishes. He'll be gutted if he goes home tonight without a win. But who's your prediction? Put them in the comments as we get ready for the final race tonight. I'll be right back. So we're about to head into the final round here at Lago Maggiore. Hopefully I don't have to enter. I haven't had to for the past 2 races. Lay's there saying an amazing race. It was indeed. And I think Dalton, his prediction is also on Hockers. So this could be a very exciting finish. I think we've got one more reverse grid here, so it looks like Beardy will be on pole again. Speed Hunter will be sat right behind him, so that could be a juicy one. If anyone's got a grudge to bear for this final race tonight. We do know that Dutchy had a lightning start at last one. He made, I think, 5 places up within about half a lap, so if he can do that again, this may well be his race to lose. But we know Hockers is going to be a stealthy fighter up the pack. So he's still got my vote. I'd love to see Hockers take a win home. I'm not sure I've ever seen Hockers win. Now that I think about it, I could be wrong. But I think in all the races I've seen Hockers race, many times I race with him, I've never ever seen him win. So if you haven't, then it's about time, my friend. And it is about time we get the race underway. Also, Dalton, while you're here, please let me know if the volume is a bit better for us now. Jay ran told me about the music, and I think I fixed it. So we are away. Not the best start for Beardy there. He's already been jumped by Airbag and Speed Hunter, and I think Matt is having a look around the outside as well. Chris might have to go up the inside, but no, doesn't look like it there. But Airbag very slow there. Chris has a huge jump there. Quinny diving everybody up the inside. And I've lost my spectator cam again. Let's try again. And Speed Hunter there flies up at the lead of the race. And he is going to have to set the pace now, it seems, from Beardy McBeard. Chris Boo in third, Airbag in fourth. Dutchy, not quite the gains he was planning to make as he did last time. Still in P5. Matt in seventh, sixth. Lancaster in eighth. Quinny is eighth. Sorry, Lancaster seventh. Lango's ninth. Hockers in 10th. So he's gone backwards again, Hockers. But we know a slow start doesn't necessarily mean a slow end, as two P2s will attest. So let's have a look then from Hockers. Let's see how he tries to manage the traffic, finding his way back towards the head of the pack. Is anyone getting involved in any fighting up ahead? Like Lancaster going to try and have a go at Gina Quinny. He's defending slightly towards the inside line there. That might compromise the exit though. Lancaster give him a friendly nudge, I think. Trying to get a move on in the sister Korean car there. Hocker's getting a little bit sideways out of that kind of corner, as was Lango, so not the best run for him. He's going to make sure he stays in that slipstream though, otherwise this could put paid to the first half of his race. He's just about going to stay, and he's indeed, yes, he's gaining back on Lango, so he should be fine there. Speed Hunter set the tone already, 1.3 seconds up on his nearest rival, Beardy McBeard. Beardy slamming the brakes there into turn 2. Chris going bravely around the outside, tucking it back in for the inside. Bit of door banging there, and Chris Boo's going to hang Beardy out to dry like dirty laundry. Dutchy up into P4. He's made one spot on that first lap and be right behind Beardy McBeard. Are they going to be sideways through the S-bends? No, they're almost 3 wide in fact there. Beardy sticking to Chris Boo like glue. Dutchy's got nowhere to go on the outside, so I'm sure we'll see him cut to the inside in a moment. He's going to take some of that slipstream off of Beardy and maybe go for a double overtake. Let's run on board. Let's see what he thinks. No, he's going to back out that one quite sensibly. Beardy's going to go up the inside of Chris, using all the inside curb there. Chris knock up, making the apex. But hold off Dutchy for the time being, I think, with a misshift there in the Lexus. So Dutchy in P4. Crucially, he's got a second in hand to Quinny, who's leading, I think, pretty much everybody else in P5. I'm going to run on board then, I think, with Quinny. The Airbag and Lango going at it for P6, or perhaps Lango's just defending from I think who is that in the orange car? I wonder, that's Lancaster indeed. Perhaps trying to defend from Lancaster there. Lango getting a bit out of shape there. Airbag's going to try and pull away from him a little bit more. Lancaster going to go up the inside of Lango, maybe up the inside of a pair of them. He will indeed. Lancaster sends it first class up the inside of Airbag, takes P6. There's tyre smoke coming up from the back there as we have a look at Lango defending now furiously from Airbag and Hockers, who's finally up into P9. And Hockers a big send on the inside of Lango, some contact. I think someone may have ended up in the wall. If I look back, it looks like no, I think I was just seeing things like Matt is doing just fine. I thought he was in the wall there, maybe a bit of a glitch. Oh, just avoid contact there with Hockers. Airbag made it down to P8, so maybe that was the contact I was thinking of. Lango in 6th, Lancaster in 5th, Quinny. A little bit of breathing space there from Lancaster. Crucially now in the slipstream of Chris Boo, who's trying to hang on to Dutchy. He's hanging up the inside. We're double detecting Chris Boo. Be very brave if he does. No, he's going to try and go for the one though on the inside of Beardy McBeard. Dutchy and Chris Boo getting past Beardy there. Dutchy up into P2. This is the start he was hoping for. He's been a bit slower than expected, but he is making progress though. Chris Boo is not going to let that go very easily. Cutting the grass a little bit there, trying to stay with play Dutchy. They've gone for a late way off the inside there, I think. Dutchy has left in the space. Chris Boo's going to try and tack it up the inside line. He's got the first corner. Has he got the second? He has, but he can't shut the door on the Lexus while it's on the outside. And Beardy McBeard will make gains from that one instead and take P3 off Chris Boo. Maybe not the best place to try and fight that one from Dutchy. However, Chris is now going to lose out to Gina Quinny as well on the inside, I think. However, who's going to take the slipstream is the important one, and Quinny will just get the slipstream from Beardy, tucking into that gap nicely. You can see though, this Sylvia really does have a power in a straight line, and Quinny's got the inside of Beardy, but Beardy's still on the right hand side. There's some contact again, not again on Beardy, he's going to be fuming. I think Chris knows what he's done there, lets back off the throttle, but Quinny around the outside of Beardy there, takes P3, Beardy to 4, Chris to 5th, and he's got Lancaster hot on his heels, I think, in 6th, yes he does. Lancaster there side by side there with Chris, and will take P5 as they head through these uphill S-bends. Smooth on there from ART Lancaster. Beardy trying to the outside of the Genesis G70 there. And this could all be 3 wide heading to Banky Boy. Lancaster's doing it for the cameras, but what's going to happen in the corner? Beardy takes 3rd, Quinny 4th, and there's a lot of contact there. Lango forces Lancaster wide. Chrisnick knows that someone might well be on him, and he backs out once again. No damage for any of them, fortunately, but Lancaster's gone a bit greedy there, I think, for YouTube, and it's not quite worked out in his favour. Quinny keeps 3rd, Beardy's 4th, Lango 5th, and Lancaster 6th. All this fighting is allowing our resident alien play Dutchie to check out ahead of them, as it's getting very dicey. Look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars all battling for P3, and we're not even on lap 5 yet. It's getting very hectic in the midfield. I think Hockers down there in P8 will be looking at this, hopefully rubbing his rubbing his hands together, hoping the mistake will cost him get another freebie. Dutchie though, 3 and a bit seconds ahead of this battling group, is making it much easier for him as Quinny goes very aggressive on Beardy. Beardy in the wall again, he is not going to be amused. Now, once again finding himself in last place. He's had an absolute shambles of a race tonight, definitely no luck. I think a lot of it's have to investigate for this one. I couldn't tell that was Quinny who was a bit aggressive there on the way in. Dalton again with the pump. But that's not gone well. We'll have to check that one out at the end of things. Quinny wants to get away as quickly as he can though. So I don't want to be very quick there. Is Lancaster, you can see him dart to the inside line, and we can check out what's happening there. Lancaster takes P4 before he gets to the corner. A bit of a bump there from Chris, I think. Chris runs wide, that's going to cost him P4 to Lancaster. Dalton reckons Quinny's going to get slapped for that one. I think he might well get more than a slap. That's going to be a full-on beating, I think. Because he also drove away. Lancaster's trying to drive away from Chris Boo, but he just can't there. Lancaster's going to try and make him move the inside instead. These 2 cars, a little bit of door banging there. Chris Boo is going for a lunge on Lancaster. No, he's just defending from Lango. So he keeps P5. Airbag is in P8 there in the back of our shot, as is Matt. Question is, where is Hockers? He seems to be a country mile away. Oh no, he's not. He's just hiding behind Airbag. I do apologise, Hockers. So we've still got a real train of cars here forming up. He's on to lap 6. Hockers go trying to convert under move there on Airbag. He will indeed. He's to get into that gap though for the slipstream. Can he just about tuck in? He can, I think. And he will. Meanwhile, Lango going for the inside move there on Chris Boo, or just he getting his mirrors and scare him wide. He has scared him wide. Chris Boo on the grass, but Lango's not quite made that line stick. He needs to lose a place there to Matt and to Hockers. So trying to take one, and he's lost 2 instead. And you hate when that happens. There's another one behind him there, but Airbag I think just giving him a friendly nudge back up to speed rather than anything, any shady doings there. For the time being, Speed Hunter is still at the head of the pack. 3.6 seconds ahead of Play Dutchie. He's got another 6 seconds in hand as well there to Gina Quinny, as that some of our engine noise seems to have disappeared. Let's check back in, see what's happened there. Oh, yeah, engine noise has gone. Very, very helpful. Oh, well, we've got some noise if it's a Nissan, I think, so we'll have to run aboard with the Sylvia. And the Dalton says, holy lag. It is indeed very laggy. Now we've got some noise back there, Lancaster there. So a roaring V6 there from the Hyundai as it suddenly disappears once again, heading behind Gina Quinny into this final corner. Lancaster not quite taking all of the inside curb. But he's still going to try and catch up to Gina Quinny. He's had a good run out of that final corner. He's going to have to defend in the middle of the track here. Is Lancaster going to go for an over and under, or he's going to try and hold it around the outside? No, there's no move there. All just avoiding contact there on Gina Quinny. Very close there. Without respect for driving, giving each other space. So yeah, the audio is cutting in and out. Dalton says, Kaz, please. We do need this game fixed, guys. It's been over a year now, surely. Let me see, maybe I can touch the background noise. Maybe that might help just a little bit. Oh, that's the background music. Let's put the sound effects up just a tiny bit. Engine noises probably won't do much there, I don't think. Yeah, I have to leave that where it is, I think. Luke says it looks like Langston tapped Quinny into Beardy. So a bit of a post-incident analysis there from Luke Batty. Thanks for that, Luke. That's very much appreciated. I'm sure we'll see the replays a bit later as well. For the time being, though, Langston is trying to get past Chris. He has gotten past Chris there. Or Chris Rail's got past Quinny, because Quinny was, I think, in third. And since I've been fiddling with the settings, he's now lost 2 places. They are starting to spread out a little bit, though. Crucial, I think Hockers has just gotten past Lango as well. So now he needs to get right onto the back there of Quinny as soon as he can. Yeah, see the audio is just fading in and out each time they start accelerating. I have no idea what's happening here. Hockers at the fast out of the race there, 28.699. I'm sure we'll see that fall is even more throughout the race as the cars get lighter on fuel. The slipstream comes into play as well. You can see this battling group here has already brought Hockers almost within slipstream range of Junior Quinny there, as they're all battling for the final spot on the grid. It seems that Speed Hunter and Dutchy are probably going to settle quite happily with first and second. Don't call this a certified polyphony moment. It is indeed. Big jump out to Junior Quinny as he is trailing this group here. Late on the brakes, maybe a little bit too late on the brakes there. But he's just about going to keep it intact as it seems. They're slowing down a little bit. Maybe there's some more lag going on here. It seems a little bit slow to me. I don't know like you guys at home, but it seems to go a little bit slower. Maybe a little bit of lag kicking in there, so the audio glitches are as well. Chris Boo having a look up the inside of Lancaster, or just trying to get in his head possibly. No move there from Chris Boo, but Lancaster has gone ever so slightly wide. Chris Boo tight to that right hand apex, and they see Hockers again drawing ever closer as his airbag, Lango in the back of that shot. But these three here still almost head to tail. Quiddy using all of that inside curve to try and sneak a couple of tenths away from Chris, and it is working. As I think might be Langer a little bit wide down at last corner. What's Quinny going to do here? Is it the inside of Chris Boo? He's looking for it, but knows how to stamp on the brakes extra hard to avoid the contact. He's getting very racy under here now, as Hockers is just trying to get on the inside of this corner, but he can't quite put the throttle down early enough. That might cost him down the straightaway, but it looks like Quinny was held up as well. However, Quinny with the slipstream might start pulling away from Hockers just a touch more there. Again, I apologise for these audio glitches. I've got no idea what is wrong with the game. I turned the race noise down just a little bit, but I think it's the music that was the problem. Hockers is trying to chase down the battle for P3, which is Junior Quinny, who's fallen off a pair of Lancaster and Chris Boo just a little bit. They're starting to spread out a touch, so I'm going to jump back into the cockpit there with Junior Quinny. I love this swinging camera on the inside of the Genesis. And head into the final sector of the race here. Chris running quite wide there at that final corner. But maybe using it to try and sacrifice some time on the inside instead. Into the final turn now. You see Quinny taking a lot more of the curve there on the inside compared to Chris, which might gain him a little bit of time on the exit. I think Chris is taking a bit more momentum wider. That's going to gain him some more time instead. So our standing as we head on to lap 10 of 14, we've got Speed Hunter in P1. Dutchy is starting to reel him in slowly, but not at enough pace, I think, to take the win at this rate. Dutchy in P2. He's got a healthy gap of about 9 seconds there to Lancaster in P3, who's gone, I think, very wide by the looks of it there. I was about to say he had a healthy gap to Quinny and those around him, but in fact I think Quinny, Chris and Hockers are about to make this another four-way fight for the podium. As the Hockers makes his way past Chris, I think it was Chris that went wide, maybe Lancaster was involved in that, I didn't quite see. But Hockers and Quinny now making some inroads there. Chris takes all of the inside of Big Banky Boy in an effort to try and catch back up to this battling group up ahead. We'll run on board there looking behind from Lancaster as Quinny now has to fend off Hocker's in that yellow and green Toyota. Sorry, yellow and blue Toyota, I should say. Hocker's sending up the inside, well, with no regard for human life, goes up the inside for P4, and he takes it. Next on his list is ART Langster. Unless, of course, Gina Quinney's got anything to say about that heading into the final turn. You see Quinney taking a lot more of that curve than his competitors, but I think it's costing a bit more on the exit there, not quite straightening it out as much as he could do. And Langster still trying to pull away just a little bit there from Hockers, but Hockers will make it up on the brakes. Again, that Toyota being so light makes it much more suited to these tight complexes of the first and final sectors. You can see he's definitely reeled in a couple tenths there on Langster, but Langster a bit earlier on the power downhill here. It's going to give him a little bit more of an advantage over the Toyota. So Langster there in P3, Hockers in P4, Gina Quinney in 5th, Chris Boo in 6th. They're still nose to tail, slipstreaming each other down the back straight into Big Banky Boy. Looks like Chris is again just trying to get in the mirrors there of Quinney, trying to get in his head. Quinney's not going to bite that one out of Chris, actually, as a consequence, has gone off into the gravel. That's leaving some dirty tyres, might invite Lango by a couple of tenths to get into this fight as well. Hockers, though, really racy there on the back of Langster, heading into the final sector. It's going to be another late move on the inside. Let's have a look. No, not happening yet. Hockers, though, driving the absolute wheels off of that Toyota. As we're about to head on to lap 12 of 14. Really pushing hard. Hockers must be my driver for the day. Again, a dismal start to this race, but could still find himself on the podium if Langster dips his toes into the gravel a little bit too often, just like that. We skip forward a little way as well. It looks like Dutchie is now definitely within view of Speed Hunter. Speed Hunter himself getting a little bit sideways out of the second corner there, and Dutchie could still take a win home, another win home, I should say. If he can keep this pace up. He's lapping very close to that fast lap by Hockers. Hockers from 28.6. Dutchie has gone a tenth and a half, almost 2 tenths purple to the middle sector, or the second sector I should say. So he knows he's going to have to put in qualifying laps to take this win off of Speed Hunter. And crucially there, he's taken about half a second out of him again in this sector alone. So he's really going to have to put the work in, Speed Hunter, to try and defend from Dutchie in the dying embers of this race. It seems that every race tonight has come down to the wire. Dutchie's still with a tenth or so off of that purple lap, not quite making the apex there, maybe getting put off by the dirty air of the BMW in front, taking this other apex, so very tight there, running wide. Speed Hunter against a little bit too wide there, clipping the grass. We see what Dutchie's got in the bag as they head into the final corner, a bit later on the brakes, not quite as tight to the apex, but going to run it nice and wide. Speed Hunter is off onto the grass, almost into the wall, just about keeps it out. Heroic driving there from the BMW, but he's going to have very dirty tyres. Dutchie sets the new fast lap of the race on 1:28.667. Speed Hunter has gone a little bit deep there into turn 1. He's going to keep the right hand side for turn 2. Is Dutchie going to try and sneak underneath? I think he is, but there's just no space there. Speed Hunter keeps it for the time being, but those tyres are still going to be dirty as Dutchie shadows him through that downhill right hand, and he's now right on his tail as they head down the back straight. Let's see how this one unfolds from the cinematic angle. Speed Hunter pulling to the right nice and early, trying to defend from Dutchie. But that Lexus is almost level pegging as they head into the braking zone. It's going to be very tight here. Dutchie is just a bit early on the brakes there, owing to the outside line. Speed Hunter is late on the brakes and will keep P1 as they head up the hill into the final sector. Great driving from these two. Dutchie's going to try another up and under, I think, on Speed Hunter. Speed Hunter can see that one in his rearview mirror and forces Dutchie wide. Dutchie's technically in the lead as they hit into the braking zone, but Speed Hunter's still on the inside line. There's a bit of contact there. Dutchie's gone wide off onto the grass. But I think Speed Hunter realises that and has lifted off, I think. And it looks like Dutchie's going to be back into it, but he's gone off of his own accord there. And I think Speed Hunter now has a chance to pull away for good this time. Dutchie's going to have dirty tyres. He's not going to like this heading into the final corner. And that's costing him a hand over fist, and he's lost the slipstream as they head onto the final lap of this race. This may well be Speed Hunter's race. Probably not the way he wanted to do it, but it looks like it's going to be his win. As Crispy runs very wide, he's just about hit the wall there. Quinny will take P5, it looks like. What about Lango in P6? He will indeed. So Crispy down to P7. Dalton says speed punter confirmed, KW. It's indeed a speed punter. I'm sure he's going to have a couple of investigations after this one. We have to see about that one in the steward's room in the week. Quinny running very wide there, kicking up some dust in true Ken Block fashion there in his wonderful Genesis G70. Hockers, though, is still trying to find a way past Lancaster. Lancaster defending for his life. Down the back straight, Hockers now pulls to the left-hand side. Lancaster will resume the race in line. Hockers is almost on the grass there, going to try and dip underneath, but Lancaster parks it perfectly on the racing line there, and Hockers with a little bump instead of a pass. He'll be very annoyed with that one, but there's still a chance. We've got Gwan Hock in the comments, but I think Lancaster has got this one sewn up. He's just about got enough of a gap, unless those tyres give out right at the end. Hockers, I think it's gone a little bit wide of the apex there. He's trying to keep the momentum through, but there's just nothing left there in this final sector. Lancaster tipping his toes onto the grass. But this will be his third place, I'm sure, as I'm sure this will be Speed Hunter's win for tonight, but that could be subject to an investigation. We'll have to see. In fact, he tried to stop on the line, I think. But Dutchy takes P2. Lancaster just about keeps third place there. Hockers well fought for P4. Quinny in fifth. Lango sixth. Chris Boo is unlucky to take P7, but a good race from him nonetheless. Airbag down in P8 there. Fairly lonely race for him. I think as it was for Beard McBeard, who again had a fantastic start, but an instant put paid to his race tonight. And Matt 237 down in P10. With that all said and done, that brings us an end to our event tonight here at Lago Maggiore West. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and I hope to see all of you guys here next Wednesday night, where, if I can find the pins, we should be at is it Watkins Glen? No, it's Dragon Trail Seaside, I believe. Yep, so Dragon Trail Seaside. Yeah, so that's the TCR round 5. Thanks, Dalton, for your comments as always, and thanks to those of you joining the comments: Lays, Luke Batty, Jerem, if you're still watching, Navoli as well, Kerry and Sophie, and I guess that's everything. We'll see you next Wednesday for round 6 of the TCR Championship. Have a lovely rest of your week, take care, and good night.